In the beginning, before the dawn of Azeroth, or the rise of any known civilization, before the Titans had taken their first steps across the cosmos, there was an emptiness, vast and unfathomable. This was the great dark beyond, an infinite expanse stretching across the multiverse, a boundless void where silent stars and unformed worlds drifted in an endless dance. It was a cosmos teeming with potential, a canvas upon which the forces of creation and destruction, light and shadow, would soon etch their eternal conflict. The great dark beyond was not a place of mere emptiness. Within its mysterious depths lay the cradle of existence itself, a realm pulsating with the raw energies of the universe. It was here that the first whispers of power began to stir, echoing across the void with a promise of what was to come. The cosmic balance between light and void, two primordial forces, would set the stage for an epic struggle that would define the very fabric of reality. Light, the embodiment of order and creation, sought to bring harmony and stability to the cosmos. Its presence illuminated the darkness, birthing stars and worlds, each a beacon of its influence. Yet where there was light, there inevitably lay shadow. The void, the essence of chaos and entropy, lingered in the recesses of the great dark beyond, a dark mirror to the light's purity, ever seeking to unravel what had been woven. These two forces, ancient beyond comprehension, were not mere energies, but sentient entities with a will of their own. The light, with its unyielding brilliance, sought to preserve and nurture, while the void, with its insidious whispers, yearned to devour and corrupt. Their clash was not one of simple opposition, but a complex dance, a cosmic ballet of creation and destruction, perpetually shaping the universe. As the light cast its radiant glow across the cosmos, the first Titans, colossal beings of unimaginable power, emerged from the depths of the great dark beyond. These world shapers, born of the very essence of the universe, began their quest to bring order to the chaotic expanse. With each stride, they breathed life into barren worlds, forging realms that would one day be home to myriad beings. Yet their noble intentions did not go unnoticed by the void, whose tendrils began to reach out, seeking to corrupt the Titans' grand designs. Thus the stage was set for a war that would echo across the eons. The great dark beyond, once a realm of untapped potential, now stood as the battleground for the cosmic forces that sought dominion over creation itself. It was a conflict that would see the rise and fall of empires, the birth of heroes and villains, and the shaping of destinies on a scale unimaginable to mortal minds. As the Titans endeavored to impose order, the void's whispers grew ever louder, promising power and unveiling secrets shrouded in the shadows of eternity. The cosmos, vast and unyielding, bore witness to the emergence of forces both ancient and nascent, each vying for supremacy in the infinite expanse. Here, within the great dark beyond, celestial energies clashed and coalesced, forging the very essence of the universe in the crucible of conflict. The Titans, colossi of order, embarked upon their grand crusade to bring structure to the chaos. They traversed the cosmos, planting the seeds of life upon myriad worlds, their influence radiating across the stars. Yet as they strove to establish a harmonious order, the Void Lords, insidious and unseen, wove their tendrils into the fabric of reality. Their influence, dark and pervasive, sought to unravel the Titans' designs, to plunge creation back into the abyss from whence it came. Amidst this cosmic ballet, the elements themselves awakened, ancient and powerful. Fire, water, earth, and air, each a force unto itself, contested for dominion over the lands and seas of burgeoning worlds. Elemental lords arose, embodiments of their domains, and their battles reverberated across the planes of existence. The clash of these primal forces added yet another layer of complexity to the war that raged within the great dark beyond. In the midst of this tumult, the light emerged as a beacon of hope, its radiance cutting through the darkness like a celestial blade. It offered sanctuary to those who would embrace its warmth, a promise of unity against the encroaching shadows. Yet even the light, with its purity and grace, could not remain untainted by the machinations of the void. Thus the cosmic struggle intensified, a dance of creation and destruction, of light and shadow, each striving to outmaneuver the other in an endless game of cosmic chess. As the eons passed, the echoes of this conflict could be felt across the tapestry of reality. Worlds were born and extinguished. Civilizations rose and crumbled, all pawns in the grand design of the universe. The great dark beyond, once a silent expanse, now thrummed with the pulse of creation and annihilation, a testament to the eternal struggle of cosmic forces. In this boundless realm, destinies were forged and shattered, and the fate of all existence hung in the balance. The stage had been set, the players assembled, and the great dark beyond awaited the next chapter in its endless saga. In the uncharted vastness of the great dark beyond, where cosmic destinies were forged and unmade, the Titans emerged as the architects of order. These colossal beings, imbued with the essence of creation, traversed the celestial tapestry, seeking to bring structure to the chaos that seethed within the universe's primordial heart. Their emergence heralded a new chapter in the cosmic saga, one that would see the shaping of worlds and the dawning of civilization across the stars. The Titans, each a paragon of immense power and wisdom, were driven by an indomitable purpose: to awaken the dormant potential within scattered worlds, forging them into vibrant realms of life and balance. Among them, Aman'Thul, the High Father, stood as the eldest and wisest, his vision of order guiding the others. Together with Ionar, the Lifebinder, they sought to nurture life wherever it could take root, weaving the intricate tapestry of existence with care and foresight. Under Aman'Thul's leadership, the Titans formed the Pantheon, a council of their most powerful members, each tasked with specific aspects of creation and governance. Norgannon, the keeper of celestial magics and lore, chronicled the unfolding history of the cosmos, ensuring that knowledge and wisdom were preserved for eternity. Khaz'goroth, the shaper and forger, molded the very earth and stone, crafting the landscapes of myriad worlds. Yet as the Titans toiled to impose order upon the cosmos, they were ever mindful of the insidious whispers of the void, which sought to unravel their work at every turn. The Titans understood that their grand designs would be for naught if they could not resist the temptations and corruptions that lurked in the shadows. Thus they turned their gaze upon the nascent world of Azeroth, a planet teeming with boundless potential and yet fraught with peril. Azeroth, unlike any other world, harbored a secret of profound significance: a nascent Titan soul, slumbering deep within its core. The Titans recognized the importance of this burgeoning world soul, understanding that its awakening could tip the scales in the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Determined to protect and nurture Azeroth, they crafted the mighty keepers, powerful guardians imbued with their essence, to watch over the world and ensure its growth towards the light. But even as the Titans endeavored to safeguard Azeroth, the dark tendrils of the void continued to encroach, seeking to corrupt the Titan's soul and twist it to their nefarious ends. The Titans knew that the stakes were higher than ever before, as the fate of Azeroth intertwined with the very balance of power across the great dark beyond. In this cosmic tapestry of conflict and ambition, the Titans, driven by their unyielding quest for order, embarked upon an odyssey across the infinite expanse. They were not mere explorers, but architects of destiny, shaping realms with the precision of a master craftsman. Each planet they visited bore the touch of their divine influence as they shaped mountains, carved rivers, and breathed life into barren worlds. Yet none held the promise and potential of Azeroth, a nascent world soul brimming with untapped power. To protect this burgeoning world and its precious soul, the Titans created the Pantheon, a council of their mightiest members. Among them was Amanthul, the wise and venerable Highfather, whose vision stretched across the eons. Alongside him stood Iona, the Lifebinder, nurturing worlds with her gentle touch, and Khazgaroth, the Shaper, whose forge burned with the fires of creation. These celestial beings, along with their brethren, dedicated themselves to the protection and cultivation of Azeroth, seeking to secure its place in the cosmos. Yet the shadows of the void loomed ever larger, their whispers seeping into the fabric of reality. The void sought to unravel the Titans' careful work, to sow discord and chaos where order had been meticulously sown. As the cosmic struggle escalated, the Titans discovered a new threat lurking in the depths, an ancient malevolence that had long slumbered beneath the surface of their most cherished world. This threat was the old gods, dark and twisted entities born from the void's insidious machinations. They had taken root in Azeroth, their tendrils coiling around the world's heart like serpents. The old gods whispered promises of power and destruction, seeking to bring forth an age of madness and despair. The Titans recognized the peril that these abominations posed, for they were not just enemies but harbingers of an apocalyptic future. In response, the Titans waged a war of unfathomable scale against the old gods. It was a conflict that shook the very foundations of Azeroth, a battle of titanic proportions that would determine the fate of the world and the balance of cosmic forces. The Titans unleashed their fury, shattering mountains and boiling seas in their relentless pursuit of victory. Yet they soon realized that the old gods could not be destroyed without devastating the world they sought to protect. Thus, the Titans devised a plan to imprison the old gods deep within the earth, sealing them away where their malevolent influence could be contained. It was a temporary measure, a binding spell that would hold the darkness at bay, but only for a time. In the aftermath, the Titans continued their work, weaving order into the very essence of Azeroth and leaving behind their keepers as stewards of their legacy. And so, the stage was set for an eternal struggle, a war without end between the forces of light and darkness. The Titans had forged a fragile peace, but the echoes of their conflict would reverberate throughout the ages, shaping the destiny of Azeroth and beyond. As the great dark beyond continued to churn with cosmic energies, the Titans' hopes lay in the continued vigilance of their creations, and in the belief that order might one day prevail over chaos. In the immeasurable expanse of the cosmos, where the very fabric of reality was both a tapestry and a battlefield, a new threat emerged from the great dark beyond. From the darkest recesses of the void, where shadows wove their sinister plots, arose a being who would forever alter the balance of cosmic forces. His name was Sargeras, once a noble champion of the Titan Pantheon, but now a harbinger of ruin and despair. Sargeras, in his prime, was the Pantheon's most stalwart defender against the encroaching chaos. Tasked with hunting down and eradicating the demons that plagued the universe, he wielded the power of the Titans with unyielding might. Yet the more he delved into the heart of darkness, the more he was confronted by the insidious nature of the void's corruption. He witnessed worlds consumed by madness, civilizations annihilated by the creeping tendrils of entropy. The horrors he encountered weighed heavily upon his soul, sparking a cataclysmic change within him. The turning point came when Sargeras discovered a world enslaved by the old gods, their influence having driven its inhabitants to unspeakable acts. The realization that such malevolent beings could exist in countless forms across the universe shattered his resolve. It was a revelation that the forces of the void were not merely foes to be vanquished, but an existential threat to all creation. In his heart, a seed of doubt took root and flourished into despair, leading him to question the Pantheon's methods and their ability to preserve order. Haunted by visions of an inevitable demise, Sargeras came to believe that the only way to save the universe was through its purging. He concluded that a cleansing fire was needed to burn away corruption, leaving a blank slate upon which the universe could be reborn. Thus, he forged a new purpose, one that stood in stark opposition to everything he once held dear. He shattered the chains of servitude to the Titans and set out to craft his own legion bound by a singular, devastating purpose. Sargeras's transformation was both profound and terrifying. No longer a protector, he became the Burning Legion's architect, commanding an army forged from the remnants of demons he once hunted. His charisma was unmatched, his power unparalleled, and under his leadership, the Legion grew into an unstoppable force, a tidal wave of destruction that sought to obliterate all life. Across the stars, worlds trembled under their onslaught, for Sargeras's vision was one of annihilation, a cleansing that would reshape the cosmos itself. As the Burning Legion's influence spread, the universe bore witness to a dark epoch, as Sargeras's Burning Legion blazed a trail of devastation through the great dark beyond. Planets that once thrived in harmony were reduced to charred husks, their inhabitants either annihilated or enslaved by the demonic horde. The very fabric of reality quivered under the weight of their relentless advance. It was an era dominated by chaos and ruin, a time when hope seemed all but extinguished. In his quest for total obliteration, Sargeras found willing allies in the Nathrazim, or Dreadlords, who were masters of manipulation and deceit. These cunning entities served as his eyes and ears across the cosmos, infiltrating worlds and sowing discord from within. Their insidious influence turned brother against brother, kingdom against kingdom, softening entire civilizations for the Legion's inevitable assault. The Dreadlords' expertise in subterfuge and corruption made them invaluable assets in Sargeras's campaign of annihilation. Yet the Burning Legion's strength lay not only in its ferocity, but also in its adaptability. The Legion's ranks swelled with demons of every shape and form, each with their own unique powers and abilities. Infernals, colossal behemoths of molten rock and flame, rained down from the skies, leaving trails of destruction in their wake. Felguards, with their towering frames and brutal strength, served as the vanguard in countless battles. Eredar sorcerers, once noble and wise, now wielded fel magic with a proficiency and malevolence that eclipsed their former selves. Each demon, a cog in Sargeras's infernal machine, played a crucial role in the grand design of cosmic obliteration. Despite the overwhelming power of the Burning Legion, there were those who resisted. Fragments of defiance scattered across the universe as brave souls rose against the tide of darkness. Yet these pockets of resistance were often crushed under the Legion's heel, their sacrifices a testament to the futility of opposing such a formidable force. Sargeras's vision was a universe purged of imperfection, an existence where chaos reigned supreme, and the Legion was the instrument of his will. As the great dark beyond teetered on the brink of annihilation, a new chapter in the cosmic saga was about to unfold. The rise of the Burning Legion, a harbinger of doom, set the stage for an epic confrontation that would shape the fate of all creation. It was a time when legends were born and destinies intertwined, as the struggle for the cosmos reached its zenith. At the heart of this conflict lay a truth both profound and terrifying, that even amidst the shadow of the Legion's wrath, seeds of resistance had been sown, and the battle for the soul of the universe was far from over. As the cosmos teetered on the precipice of annihilation, the Pantheon found themselves grappling with an ever-escalating threat, unlike any they had faced before. The great dark beyond, once a realm of potential and promise, had become a theater of war, where the forces of light, void, and the elemental struggled ceaselessly for supremacy. Yet, it was Sargeras, the former champion of the Titans, who loomed largest in the Pantheon's thoughts. His defection and the formation of the Burning Legion had introduced a new dimension of chaos, one that threatened to consume all creation in its fiery wake. Aman Thul, the leader of the Pantheon, felt the weight of countless worlds upon his shoulders. The Highfather understood that the war against the Legion was not merely a battle for survival, but a conflict that could decide the fate of the entire universe. In the face of such overwhelming odds, the Titans recognized a dire necessity. They must take measures that would alter the very fabric of existence itself. The Pantheon gathered in the celestial halls of Ionar, the Lifebinder, whose domain teemed with the energy of creation and life. Here, amid the vibrant echoes of burgeoning worlds, they convened to devise a plan to counteract the Legion's relentless march. The Titans knew that the Legion's strength lay not just in its brute force, but in its ability to corrupt and twist the essence of reality itself. Thus, they resolved to harness the latent power within Azeroth, a world that held the promise of an awakening Titan soul. To bolster their efforts, the Pantheon sought to empower the Keepers, their loyal guardians left to watch over Azeroth. Each Keeper became a vessel of Titan power, imbued with the strength necessary to combat the Legion's encroachment. Yet the Pantheon understood that brute force alone would not suffice. They required a deeper strategy, one that could neutralize the Legion's influence and sever the ties binding it to the mortal realm. As the Pantheon deliberated, an idea took root within their collective consciousness. Perhaps the essence of the great dark beyond itself could be turned against the burning Legion. If they could harness the very energies that fueled the cosmos, they might craft a weapon to rival Sargeras's power. But such a gambit carried risks beyond measure. The manipulation of cosmic forces was fraught with peril, for even the Titans could not predict the full consequences of wielding such primordial power. In their desperation, the Pantheon considered reaching out to the Naaru, beings of pure light that roamed the great dark beyond. These celestial entities, embodiments of the light's eternal radiance, had long observed the cosmic struggle from afar. Their wisdom and power might prove pivotal in tipping the scales against the Legion. Yet the Pantheon hesitated, for the light, though a beacon of hope, was not without its own inscrutable designs. The Pantheon stood at a crossroads, their path obscured by the shadows of doubt and uncertainty. The Naaru, ethereal and enigmatic, held the promise of an alliance that could cleanse existence of the Legion's infernal taint. These beings, with their unyielding luminosity, represented a bastion of purity amidst the chaos that threatened to engulf all creation. In their essence lay the potential to bolster the Pantheon's resolve, to ignite the fires of hope within the hearts of those who fought under the banner of order. Yet even as the Pantheon deliberated, whispers of caution drifted through the cosmic currents. The Naaru, while paragons of light, were not immune to the universe's ebbs and flows. In the depths of their essence lingered the potential for transformation, a cycle that could turn the serene glow of the light into the consuming void of shadow. This duality, inherent to their nature, was a reminder that no force, no matter how benevolent, was devoid of complexity and risk. Amidst this tumult of contemplation, the Pantheon's eyes turned to Azeroth, the slumbering world that harbored a nascent Titan soul. Its potential was unparalleled, a beacon of untapped power that could sway the tide of cosmic warfare. However, the world was still vulnerable, its future uncertain, and the echoes of past conflicts lingered in its very core. The Keepers, left to guard and nurture this precious world, faced their own trials as the shadows of the Legion loomed ever closer. The Pantheon's decision was not made lightly. They understood the stakes of failure. The Naaru's influence, though potent, was not a guarantee of victory. Yet, in a universe fraught with imbalance, where light and void clashed with unrelenting fury, the Pantheon realized that unity and understanding might be their greatest weapons. Thus, they resolved to seek an audience with these celestial arbiters, hoping that their guidance might clarify the path forward. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, the moment was fleeting, an instant poised on the edge of destiny. The Pantheon's choice to engage with the Naaru was a gamble, a leap of faith that could illuminate the way through the darkness or plunge them deeper into uncertainty. As they prepared to reach out across the void, the great dark beyond held its breath, awaiting the unfolding of events that would shape the fate of all worlds. The stage was set for a convergence of forces that would ripple through the annals of time, altering the course of cosmic history forever. Amidst the celestial expanse where destinies intertwined, the Pantheon gathered in their solemn conclave, their luminous form casting radiant shadows upon the hallowed halls of Iona. Here, amidst the whispers of creation and the echoes of a million worlds, they confronted a dire reality: the defection of Sargeras, once their mightiest champion, now a harbinger of doom, whose burning legion threatened to unmake the very fabric of existence. The Titans, those ancient architects of order, stood in silent contemplation, their minds racked with the enormity of the betrayal. Sargeras, whose name once resonated with honor and valor, had succumbed to a vision wrought of despair and destruction. He believed that the corruption he had witnessed could only be cleansed with fire and annihilation. This grim ideology now fueled the Legion, a relentless tide of chaos poised to consume all in its path. Aman-Thul, the High Father, bore the weight of this revelation with stoic resolve. He understood that the Pantheon must act decisively, not only to safeguard the nascent soul of Azeroth, but to preserve the cosmic balance that hung precariously in the balance. The Titan leaders deliberated, their voices a symphony of power and wisdom as they sought a path through the encroaching darkness. Yet in this moment of despair, hope flickered on the horizon. The Titans considered the power that lay dormant within Azeroth, a potential beacon of salvation amidst the encroaching shadows. Iona, the life-binder, whose nurturing spirit whispered of renewal and growth, championed the idea of harnessing Azeroth's untapped potential. Through the empowerment of the Keepers, those stalwart protectors of the world, they could forge a bastion against the Legion's onslaught. As their deliberations unfolded, the Titans contemplated the enigmatic Naaru, beings of light and shadow, whose very existence embodied the duality of the cosmos. Their guidance could prove invaluable, for they understood the delicate dance between creation and destruction. To ally with the Naaru might offer a means to counterbalance the Legion's fury, yet such a pact was fraught with its own perils. The Pantheon faced a monumental decision, one that could alter the course of cosmic history and determine the fate of countless worlds. Would they embrace a path of unity, forging new alliances and empowering their champions, or would they succumb to the despair that had claimed their fallen brother? As the echoes of their deliberations reverberated through the great dark beyond, the Pantheon found itself at a crossroads, a juncture of destiny where the very fabric of existence could unravel or be woven anew. In the vast echoing halls of Iona, the life-binder, the Titans pondered their course. Unity, that elusive bond, shimmered just beyond their grasp, tainted by the shadow of betrayal cast by Sargeras. Yet, as the fires of his burning legion scorched the stars, the Titans knew they could not falter. Aman-Thul, the venerable High Father, stood tall amongst his kin, his wisdom a beacon amidst the encroaching darkness. He spoke of balance, of the need to wield both strength and compassion, to arm themselves not only with the powers of creation, but with the fortitude to endure the void's insidious whispers. The Pantheon must tread carefully, for the fate of the cosmos hung precariously in the balance. Norgannon, the keeper of law, proposed a bold strategy. Delve deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos, he urged, to uncover secrets untold and harness them against the infernal tide. His chronicles spoke of star-wrought artifacts, relics imbued with powers beyond imagining, capable of turning the tide against the Legion. Yet such power came with its own dangers, tempting even the purest of hearts. Khazes-Goroth, the Shaper, spoke with a voice as resonant as the anvils of creation. He envisioned a reforged cosmos, where worlds once tainted by the Legion's touch could be born anew. His vision was one of hope, a future where the ashes of war would yield fertile soil for life to flourish. But to build such a future, the Titans would need allies, both old and new, to stand beside them in the face of annihilation. The decision weighed heavily upon them all, for they knew that any misstep could seal their doom. To embrace the Naaru, beings of light and shadow, was to invite uncertainty into their midst. Yet, in their duality lay the key to understanding the balance they so desperately sought. The Naaru's wisdom might illuminate paths unseen, guiding them through the darkness that threatened to engulf them. As the pantheon deliberated, the echoes of Sargeras's fury reverberated through the void, a constant reminder of the price of discord. The Titans understood that to confront such a force, they must stand united, forging a concord that transcended their past. It was a daunting task, fraught with peril and the spectre of failure. Amidst the tumult, the Titans found a glimmer of resolve, a determination to rise above the ruinous path of their fallen brother. They would seek the guidance of the Naaru, explore the depths of the great dark beyond, and empower their champions with the light of hope. The fires of the burning legion might rage unchecked, but the pantheon would not stand idly by. They would contest the darkness, striving to restore the balance that once was. A balance that, if reclaimed, could herald a new dawn for the cosmos. Thus, with their path set before them, the Titans prepared to face the coming storm, their unity a fragile but luminous thread of hope in the vast tapestry of existence. The fate of the universe lay upon their shoulders, and with it, the hope of countless worlds yearning for salvation. In the shadowy recesses of the great dark beyond, where the fabric of reality is a tapestry woven with threads of both light and void, the Void Lords emerged as enigmatic and malevolent forces. These entities, born from the most profound shadows, harbored ambitions that extended beyond mere chaos. Their designs were intricately sinister, aiming to corrupt the very heart of creation itself. Unlike the Titans, who sought to impose order upon the cosmos, the Void Lords embraced the boundless entropy that lay within the void, perceiving it as a tool to reshape existence according to their dark desires. The Void Lords, shrouded in mystery, were not content with existing in the fringes of reality. Their gaze turned to the mortal realms and beyond, seeking a vessel through which they might manifest their will. Their ultimate prize was the corruption of a nascent Titan, a being of unimaginable potential, through which they could wield unparalleled power. To this end, the Void Lords dispatched their insidious harbingers, the old gods, who were tasked with sowing seeds of corruption across the cosmos. These old gods, monstrous and vile, descended upon worlds with the intent to twist them into nightmare landscapes. At their core, they were manifestations of the Void Lord's malevolent intent, each one a dark reflection of their creator's insidious will. Their arrival marked the dawn of an era where corruption seeped into the very essence of worlds. Challenging the order, the Titans strove to maintain. Yet, the Void Lords were not omnipotent. Their reach was limited by the very fabric of the great dark beyond, forcing them to act through their grotesque emissaries. As the old gods burrowed into the worlds they sought to corrupt, they whispered insidious promises of power and dominion to those susceptible to their dark influence. Their whispers were a symphony of despair and madness, unraveling the minds of mortals and immortals alike, drawing them ever closer to the void's embrace. The Void Lords, through their servants, orchestrated a symphony of despair that resonated through the cosmos, threatening to drown the light in an ocean of shadow. Yet, the Void Lords were not without rivals. The Pantheon, ever vigilant, recognized the threat posed by these shadowy beings and their eldritch minions. The Titans, with their mastery over creation, understood that the Void Lord's designs were not merely a threat to individual worlds, but to the very order of the cosmos itself. Thus, a cosmic dance of light and shadow began, with the Titans striving to counter the insidious machinations of the Void Lords. In this grand struggle, the Void Lords' designs grew ever more ambitious. They sought to exploit the very fabric of reality, probing for weaknesses in the cosmic structure that might allow them to breach the boundaries that confined them. Their ultimate aim was to bring about an age where the void would reign supreme, a universe cast into a chasm of unending chaos and corruption. The Void Lord's vision was one of a cosmos remade in their image, a realm where darkness consumed the light, and where life was but a fleeting whisper amidst the cacophony of despair. The Void Lords, in their insidious pursuit, manipulated the denizens of the great dark beyond, sowing seeds of doubt and discord among those who stood as sentinels against their encroaching shadow. Among the most potent of their tools were the old gods, monstrous deities of malevolence, sent forth as harbingers of their master's will. The old gods descended upon worlds like a virulent plague, their tendrils spreading corruption and madness wherever they took root. Each world they conquered became a festering wound in the universe's body, a gateway through which the Void Lords might one day step into the realm of creation. Yet the Void Lords' ambitions were not driven by chaos alone. They were guided by a twisted semblance of purpose. They sought the nascent Titan souls, such as the one within Azeroth, with an insatiable hunger. These souls, if corrupted by the Void, could be transformed into dark Titans, colossal engines of destruction, powerful enough to unmake the very fabric of existence. In this grim vision, the Void Lords saw not just the end of their ancient adversaries, but the ultimate remolding of reality itself. But the cosmos was not without its defenders. The Titans, Keepers, and myriad other forces stood vigilant against the Void Lord's schemes. Each conflict, each resistance, was a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who refused to bow to the encroaching darkness. Yet the Void Lords were patient, for they knew that even the strongest defense could be worn down over the span of millennia. The whispers of the Void, pervasive and seductive, crept into the hearts of the unsuspecting, turning allies into enemies, and sowing mistrust where once there was unity. This insidious influence was felt across the cosmos as heroes and champions faced trials not only of strength but of conviction. For the Void Lords understood that true victory lay not in overwhelming force, but in shattering the bonds of trust and hope that held the universe together. In their relentless quest, the Void Lords wove an intricate web of deceit and manipulation, fostering discord among those who might stand against them. Each thread of their dark tapestry sought to unravel the very essence of unity, leaving only chaos in its wake. And as the universe teetered on the brink of an abyss, the question remained: could the forces of creation muster the strength and resolve necessary to withstand the Void's relentless onslaught? Thus, as the great dark beyond echoed with the cries of celestial conflict, the Void Lords watched from their shadowy realms, ever plotting, ever waiting for the moment when the cosmos would be ripe for their dominion. The fate of all that existed hung in precarious balance, the scales teetering between the light of salvation and the void of annihilation. In this cosmic chess game, every move, every sacrifice, would determine the dawn or the dusk of creation itself. In the shadowed recesses of the cosmos, where the fate of all creation was to be decided, the Titans gathered, their spirits burdened by the weight of a universe teetering on the brink of chaos. The Pantheon, once a bastion of unity and purpose, now stood fractured under the strain of internal discord and external threats. The defection of Sargeras had not only left a gaping wound within their ranks, but had shaken the very foundations of their beliefs. Aman-Thul, the High Father, stood at the head of this august assembly, his visage etched with the lines of ancient knowledge and deep concern. His leadership had been unchallenged until the moment Sargeras had turned away from the light of order to embrace the consuming fires of destruction. Now, the Pantheon faced a dire choice: how to respond to the threat of the Burning Legion and the ever-looming shadow of the Void Lords. The discussions were fraught with tension. Eonar, the Lifebinder, implored her brethren to consider the value of nurturing life and the potential of Azeroth's nascent Titan soul. She saw in Azeroth a beacon of hope and a pivot upon which the balance of the cosmos might be restored. Her voice, though soothing, was met with skepticism by some, who feared the unpredictable nature of such burgeoning power. In stark contrast, Norganon, keeper of celestial wisdom, spoke of the ancient artifacts scattered throughout the great dark beyond. These relics, he argued, held the key to unlocking unparalleled power, capable of turning the tide against both the Burning Legion and the Void's insidious influence. His proposition was met with intrigue, but also with caution, for the arcane forces he referenced were as perilous as they were potent. Khaz'goroth, the Shaper and Forger, envisioned a cosmos reforged. He proposed a bold strategy to harness the energies of the great dark beyond, not only to bolster their defenses, but to reshape existence itself. His vision was audacious, promising a new dawn or catastrophic ruin depending on the Pantheon's resolve and unity. Yet, as the Titans deliberated, the spectre of the Void Lords loomed ever larger. Their designs on creation were insidious, their influence pervasive. Even now, whispers of doubt and discord echoed through the halls where the Titans convened. The Void Lord's manipulation was subtle but relentless, seeking to exploit the Pantheon's vulnerabilities and fracture their unity further. The Titans, aware of this threat, knew that any decision made in haste or uncertainty could spell disaster. Amidst this backdrop of cosmic tension, a realization began to coalesce. The Pantheon was not merely contending with external foes, Sargeras and the Void Lords, but grappling with the internal struggle to maintain their unity and the resolve to protect the cosmos from falling into utter ruin. In the shadow of such monumental threats, the Pantheon found itself at a crossroads. The once unbreakable bonds that had forged the Titans as the universe's stewards were now tested by doubt and fear. The spectre of Sargeras, a brother once revered, loomed large, a reminder of their own vulnerability to despair and corruption. As the debate raged, the Titans grappled with the haunting notion that their very existence might inadvertently sow the seeds of their own downfall. This internal conflict was mirrored by the external threat of the Void Lords, whose insidious tendrils clawed at the edges of reality, eager to claim the universe for chaos and darkness. The Titans understood that their struggle was not merely against the physical manifestations of their foes, but against the very essence of corruption that threatened to erode their purpose. In this crucible of cosmic uncertainty, Aman'Thul's voice resonated with a call for clarity and resolve. The High Father's wisdom sought to galvanize the Pantheon, urging them to not just react to the darkness, but to actively illuminate the path forward. He proposed a bold course of action, to channel the collective might of the Pantheon with renewed vigor, to forge a bastion of hope strong enough to withstand the encroaching shadows. Eonar, the Lifebinder, echoed Aman'Thul's sentiments with a passionate plea for unity. She envisioned a future where the Titans' combined strength could nurture worlds beyond imagining, where life and light would flourish in defiance of the Void's despair. Her voice, a beacon of hope, reminded the Pantheon of their shared purpose and the beauty of creation they had vowed to protect. Yet, as these ideals stirred the hearts of some, others among the Titans were seized by doubt. The spectre of Sargeras' defection lingered heavily, casting a pall over their deliberations. Would they too fall prey to such despair? Could they truly trust in their collective vision when the universe seemed to unravel around them? In this moment of profound introspection, the Titans were faced with a choice that would reverberate through the ages. Would they succumb to the divisive whispers of the Void Lords, allowing fear and uncertainty to fracture their unity? Or would they transcend these trials, forging an unbreakable bond that would stand as a testament to their enduring legacy? The answer lay not in the power they wielded, but in the courage to believe in the light within themselves. As the echoes of their deliberations faded into the cosmic ether, the Pantheon stood united, resolute in their determination to confront both the shadows without and the shadows within. This choice, this stand, would chart the course for the battles yet to come, and in doing so, define the destiny of all creation. In the vast tapestry of cosmic conflict, Azeroth stood not just as a world, but as the very nexus of cosmic power, a focal point where the threads of fate intertwined more densely than anywhere else in existence. As the Titans gazed upon this fledgling world, they saw not merely a planet, but a cradle for infinite possibilities, a sanctuary where the forces of light and void might be balanced, where order and chaos could coexist without succumbing to one another. It was here, on Azeroth, that the Titans placed their greatest hopes and fears, for within its core lay a nascent Titan soul, a being of unimaginable potential. The Keepers, forged by the Titans, were entrusted to safeguard this world, to watch over its development and protect it from the insidious whispers of the void. These guardians were more than mere caretakers. They were champions of order, each imbued with a fragment of the Titan's power, tasked with nurturing Azeroth's burgeoning spirit. Yet even with such mighty protectors, the dangers that lurked in the shadows could not be underestimated. For the old gods, those grotesque manifestations of the Void's will, had already sunk their tendrils deep into Azeroth's crust. Though imprisoned, their malignant influence persisted, a constant threat to the world's stability. The Keepers waged a relentless battle to contain this corruption, a struggle that was both physical and metaphysical. Every skirmish against these ancient entities tested their resolve, demanding not only strength, but wisdom and foresight. But the old gods were not the only peril that loomed over Azeroth. As the burning legions scorched the cosmos with unbridled fury, the threat of demonic invasion grew ever present. Under Sargeras's command, the legion's gaze inevitably turned towards this world of promise, where a Titan's soul lay ripe for either salvation or devastation. The legion's ambition was clear: to corrupt Azeroth's essence, to twist it into a dark Titan that would serve their infernal crusade. Yet, the Keepers, guided by the lingering touch of the Titans, remained vigilant, ever aware of the stakes that hung over their charge. The Naaru, those ethereal beings of light, had also taken notice of Azeroth. Their luminous presence offered both comfort and caution, for within them lay the duality of light and shadow. To trust in their guidance was to embrace the uncertainty of their nature, a gamble that the Titans considered with utmost care. Yet, as the Naaru's radiant energies resonated with the world, a glimmer of hope shone through the encroaching darkness. Azeroth, it seemed, was destined to be a battlefield for the greatest cosmic forces, a stage where the balance of power might be decided once and for all. As the Keepers fortified their defenses and the Titans pondered the wisdom of their choices, the universe held its breath, waiting for the moment when the fate of all creation would hinge upon the choices made on this singular world. Yet amidst this cosmic tableau, the heart of Azeroth pulsed with untold promise and peril. Deep within the world's core slumbered the nascent Titan spirit, an entity of immense potential, whose awakening could tip the scales in favor of the light or plunge the cosmos into the shadowy embrace of the void. The Keepers, ever vigilant, understood the paramount importance of safeguarding this Titan soul, for its fate was inextricably linked to the destiny of the universe itself. The whispers of the void were never far, insidious and persistent, seeking to corrupt the nascent soul and reshape Azeroth into a bastion of darkness. The old gods, chained beneath the earth, were the void's agents of chaos, their malignant influence ever striving to break free and spread their corruption anew. The Keepers, aware of this ceaseless threat, knew that their vigilance could never waver, for even the slightest lapse might spell their doom. In the heavens above, the Titans deliberated, their once unified purpose now fractured by doubt and dissent. The defection of Sargeras loomed large in their minds, a grim reminder of the seductive power of despair and the dangerous allure of uncompromising conviction. The Pantheon faced an existential dilemma, caught between the desire to harness the power of Azeroth for their cause and the fear of repeating Sargeras's tragic fall from grace. Amidst this maelstrom of uncertainty, the Naaru emerged as beacons of guidance, their serene presence offering a path toward harmony and balance. These cosmic beings, embodiments of both light and shadow, understood the delicate dance between creation and annihilation, offering wisdom that transcended the Titan's rigid understanding of order. The Keepers, too, were drawn to the Naaru's teachings, recognizing in them a potential ally in the struggle to preserve Azeroth and its burgeoning Titan soul. As the cosmic forces gathered, each vying for dominion over Azeroth's fate, the world stood as a microcosm of the greater conflict that raged across the great dark beyond. The choices made here would ripple outward, shaping the destiny of countless worlds and the very fabric of reality itself. The Keepers steeled themselves for the trials to come, knowing that their duty transcended even their own existence. Thus Azeroth became the nexus of cosmic power, a place where the titanic and the eldritch, the luminous and the void-touched, converged in a battle that would echo through the ages. As the universe awaited the outcome, the world braced for a reckoning that would define the course of creation itself. In the endless expanse of the cosmos, where the echoes of creation and the whispers of destruction interweave, the tale of light and shadow unfolds, woven tightly around the fates of mortals who dwell in the universe's embrace. The eternal struggle between these primal forces is a saga not only of cosmic entities, but of the countless beings who tread upon the worlds scattered across the great dark beyond. As the Pantheon deliberated on the fate of the universe, the influence of the light and the void was felt across worlds, including Azeroth, a planet of singular significance. Here, the intricate dance of creation and annihilation played out in microcosm, as mortals, those ephemeral beings, became unwitting participants in this cosmic drama. These beings, seemingly insignificant against the backdrop of the eternal cosmos, held within them the potential to sway the balance of powers far greater than themselves. On Azeroth, the Keepers, entrusted with the stewardship of the world and its nascent Titan soul, found themselves in a precarious position. As the lurking shadows of the old gods threatened to consume the world, these guardians realized that their strength alone might not suffice. It was here that the light, in its purest form, became a beacon for those who sought to protect their realm. Paladins, priests, and other champions of the light emerged, their resolve fueled by the incandescent energy that promised hope against the encroaching darkness. But alongside this light, the shadow crept ever closer, whispering ancient truths and forbidden power. The void's allure was a siren call to those who dared to seek knowledge beyond the ken of mortal understanding. Warlocks, shadow priests, and others who delved into the forbidden arts found themselves walking a razor's edge, balancing their thirst for power with the perilous risk of corruption. As the mortals of Azeroth grappled with their place in this vast tapestry, the cosmic forces watched with interest. Would these beings, fragile yet resilient, tip the scales in favor of order? Or would they succumb to the chaos that beckoned with promises of untold power? The light and the void, though ancient and vast, found their fates entwined with those who walked the earth, those who gazed at the stars and wondered at their place among them. Yet as the battle for hearts and minds unfolded, another force emerged, one that sought to harmonize the discordant symphony of the cosmos. The Naaru, beings of light and shadow, perceived the potential for unity amidst chaos. Their presence on Azeroth became a guiding star for those who yearned for balance, offering a path that transcended the binary struggle of light and void. These ethereal entities, with their understanding of both harmony and entropy, presented an opportunity for mortals to forge a new destiny, one that might reshape the very fabric of reality. As the universe teetered on the edge of the abyss, the role of mortals became ever more pronounced. In this grand cosmic drama, they were no longer mere spectators, but pivotal actors whose choices could sway the eternal struggle between light and shadow. The Naaru, as beacons of potentiality, inspired mortals to rise above their inherent limitations, to become bastions of hope in a universe fraught with despair. These sentient beings, born of a world defined by conflict, embodied the potential for change. Mortal races, diverse and resilient, became the canvas upon which the forces of creation and destruction painted their destinies. Empowered by the Naaru's teachings, they began to understand the delicate dance between light and void, recognizing that within them lay the power to harness both forces. This realization marked a turning point in the cosmic narrative, for it was through mortals that the possibility of a new equilibrium emerged. As their understanding deepened, mortals became adept at wielding the energies that surrounded them. Scholars and warriors alike delved into the arcane and divine, seeking wisdom and strength in equal measure. Wizards conjured spells that could bind the elements to their will, while paladins channeled the light to vanquish the encroaching darkness. Each mortal, through trials and triumphs, forged a path that would shape the fate of their world and, in turn, the cosmos itself. Yet this burgeoning power was not without peril. The very fabric of reality trembled under the weight of these newfound abilities. The balance between light and shadow, once so precarious, now rested in the hands of beings as fallible as they were determined. It was a monumental responsibility, one that required wisdom beyond mortal ken. Still, hope was not lost. The Naaru, with their dual nature, served as a reminder that even in darkness, light could be found. They guided mortals to see beyond the immediate conflict, urging them to envision a future where harmony reigned. It was a vision that transcended the confines of their reality, one that offered the promise of peace amidst chaos. In the heart of this struggle, mortals and Naaru together forged alliances that defied the cosmic order. These unions, born of necessity and nurtured by trust, became the foundation upon which a new era could be built. An era where the forces of light and void might finally find balance, not through dominance, but through understanding and coexistence. Thus, as the universe teetered on the brink of its next epoch, the role of mortals was clear. They were the bridge between realms, the harbingers of change in a cosmos that had long been shackled by conflict. With the guidance of the Naaru, they stood poised to redefine the very nature of existence, to chart a course through the stars that might yet lead to a future of unity and peace. In the vast and turbulent tapestry of the cosmos, the unending war between the forces of light and void reached a precipice where every decision bore the weight of countless worlds. As the cosmic dance unfolded, the intricate threads of fate wove a complex narrative, one that transcended time and space, binding the destinies of gods and mortals alike. This relentless saga of creation and destruction was not merely a struggle for supremacy, but a testament to the universe's enduring balance, forever teetering on the edge of chaos and order. The Titans, those colossal architects of existence, stood at the heart of this cosmic maelstrom. Their pursuit of order had awakened the sleeping potential within Azeroth, a world whose very essence harbored the power to tip the scales of cosmic conflict. However, the path to salvation was fraught with peril, for the shadowy machinations of the Void Lords and their insidious servants, the old gods, sought to corrupt the heart of this nascent power. Amidst this turmoil, the Burning Legion, led by the fallen Titan Sargeras, loomed as a harbinger of annihilation, its infernal legions poised to consume all in their path. The universe trembled under the weight of impending cataclysm as the light endeavored to cast its radiant glow across the stars. Even as the void whispered promises of power and dominion to those willing to heed its seductive call. In the midst of this celestial upheaval, the Naaru emerged as beacons of hope and enlightenment. These enigmatic beings, embodying the duality of light and shadow, offered guidance to both titans and mortals. Their wisdom illuminated the path towards harmony, urging all who would listen to embrace the potential for balance within themselves. As the cosmic forces converged upon Azeroth, it became clear that the choices of mortals would resonate far beyond their world, echoing across the vast expanse of the great dark beyond. United in their resolve, the Titans prepared to confront the Legion's firestorm. Yet, as they gathered their might, they recognized that the true battle lay not in the clash of armies, but in the hearts and minds of those who walked upon Azeroth's surface. The Keepers, those steadfast guardians of the Titan soul within Azeroth, stood as the last line of defense against the encroaching darkness. Their vigilance was unwavering, their purpose clear: to safeguard the world and nurture the potential that lay dormant within its core. But it was the mortals who would ultimately decide the fate of the cosmos. Empowered by both light and void, they forged alliances and waged their own battles, their choices shaping the course of history in ways yet unseen. As the shadows lengthened and the light's glow flickered, a new era beckoned, one defined by the struggle for equilibrium amidst the chaos. Yet even as hope flickered on the horizon, an ancient truth persisted. The war of cosmic forces was eternal, and in this relentless cycle of conflict and creation, the universe would forever find itself entwined in the dance of light and shadow. As celestial forces clashed and coalesced, the inhabitants of Azeroth stood at a precipice, their decisions echoing across the great dark beyond. The ancient pact between mortals and the Naaru, those luminous beings of light and shadow, offered a beacon amidst the tumultuous seas of uncertainty. Guided by their wisdom, mortals sought to harness the duality inherent within the universe, striving to maintain a fragile balance that could prevent their world from tipping into oblivion. In the shadows, the whispers of the void persisted, a siren's call promising power and knowledge beyond mortal comprehension. Yet it was the resilience of Azeroth's denizens, their unwavering determination to protect their world, that stood as the bulwark against the encroaching darkness. They crafted weapons of light, wielding them with fervor against those who would see their world consumed by chaos. The paladins, with their unwavering faith, and the mages, with arcane mastery, stood united, a testament to the potential of unity amidst diversity. As the cosmos swirled with the energies of creation and destruction, the Naaru's presence became a guiding force. Their ethereal voices spoke of a future where light and void might coexist, where the universe might find peace not through domination, but through understanding and respect for the cosmic forces that defined it. Yet such a future remained elusive, a shimmering mirage on the horizon of time. The Titans, those ancient architects of order, watched from the vastness of the cosmos, their influence lingering as a testament to their enduring legacy. Their dreams of a structured universe, free from the clutches of chaos, lay in the hands of mortals who now carried the torch of hope and resilience. It was a burden and a privilege, a duty that transcended the boundaries of time and space. In the end, the war of cosmic forces was a reflection of the universe's very nature, a cycle of creation and destruction, of light and shadow, forever bound in an intricate dance. Yet within this eternal conflict lay the seeds of possibility, the potential for mortals to carve a path of their own making. As they stood on the precipice of an uncertain future, one truth remained. The power to shape the destiny of the cosmos lay not in the hands of ancient titans or malevolent void lords, but in the hearts and wills of those who dared to dream of a universe where harmony might one day reign supreme.